Hey everybody, welcome back to Living Our American Dream. You can probably tell that I'm voiceover recording this segment of the video. I did an intro and I used a new camera that I got, and it has a separate microphone that plugs into the side of the camera, and I had it plugged in, but it also takes a AA battery, and I think the battery might have been dead. So there's several sections of this video that I'm going to do a voiceover in. But anyway, you can see me pointing to my pond in this video. And basically today what we're going to do is, Mike pans the camera around here. I've cleaned up around this pond all the overgrown cottonwoods and willow trees. And today we're going to do this last section. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with all of the trees after we get them out of here. So here we did a time lapse showing you how we did this project. Basically, I went through on the edge of the water with the chainsaw and laid the trees down, and the boys helped me out making piles up on the trail so that we could come back later with the tractor and pick them up and take them out back. In this clip of the video, we're showing an example of one of the piles that we made. I think we ended up with like 10 stacks of these trees. But basically the boys would bring everything up and sit it in a pile, all facing the same direction, where I could come back later with the pallet forks. I don't have a grapple for my tractor, but I use the pallet forks to pick up piles of brush like this, and it works really well. So they're just kind of making a stack here. This is one of our first stacks, and they just went along and made 10 of these. In this clip, Mike pans the camera around, and again, the microphone's not working, so I apologize. I'll just do a voiceover, but you see kind of what the project looks like partway through. Some of these trees, I think the biggest ones were probably 6 to 7 inches in diameter, and they were all cottonwood trees and willow trees. We'll move right into a time lapse showing the second half from a different perspective, and you'll see looks like pretty quick work of it when you put it in a time lapse. But this whole laying the trees down took us about, I think it was around 2 hours, and then we were ready to pick up the stacks. Now we're back here. We just put the first one down. This is what this is going to look like. You look at this section of trail, it gets pretty rough over there, and it's still sitting pretty wet. But what we're going to do is, just like this one right here, we're going to run just a bunch of these. It doesn't matter what size or how many or whatever. We're going to run a bunch this way along the trail, and then we're going to put some across them, and we're going to be pretty thick about it. We don't want to leave big gaps where the tractor will end up sinking in or whatever that deal is, and then we're going to put mulch over top of it. So you guys know what you got to do?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go get another load, and when I come back, we'll take a little bit of video of you. Well, I'm reaching the end of the day here, and we ended up getting a bunch of stuff done. That stuff we started with in this video, we got as much done as we intended to today, which was cut the pond out and get it hauled back there on the trail. Let me show you what that looks like before we close this video out. So the rest of the pond I already had cleared, and what you can see here in the video is this side's nice and clear now. And like I said before, we're going to go along that bank right there, and we're going to plant some maple trees so that someday when I'm older, we'll have a nice view right there of maple trees. And the vantage point where I'm taking this video is going to be where a wraparound porch is going to be on the house at some point. So that'll be a nice view over the pond. Let's go take a look at where we put all this stuff. So I'm taking this bit of video with my camera that my wife got me for deer hunting. And I know when I take my video with my iPhone, when I walk and take video at the same time, it does surprisingly well at image stabilization. So I'm kind of testing that right here. But as we cross the bridge, my intention with the wood chip pile, which actually I'll go show you the wood chip pile here in a minute, is to take these wood chips, this mulch, and work this trail from here straight back to the woods. And what's going to happen if I just put the wood chips on here is they're going to wash away on this little hill, and they're also going to get driven down into the ground when it gets really soft. So what I've done in a previous section, if we can walk up far enough, I'll show you that, is I put these trees on and across the trail. You can see these ruts. They're not terrible, but they get kind of deep up here. And this looks just like a pile of brush here now. But what we're going to do is we're going to take the chainsaw and I'll cross cut a bunch of this so it doesn't stick up so high. And I'll just end up with a bunch of sticks and trunks and whatnot. And I'll also take some and I'll put them across these, so we have almost a X pattern right on this trail. And you can see that once this gets laid in there real nice and I put some stuff across it, it'll be already built up 6 or 8 inches. And then when I put the mulch on top of it, I'm going to put another probably 8 or 10 inches of mulch on all of this. And what that's going to do, if we walk up here, I'll show you. There's a section of trail up here that I did this already. And this is the end of where we got the trees in today. But this is the section here where I've already done this. And you can actually see right here on the side of the trail some of the sticks sticking out from where I've done this previously. And if you look, it gets really wet right here, and this has allowed this section of trail to stay built up and really nice, actually, for the most part. I'm going to put a little bit more mulch over it, but for the most part this section has stayed really nice, which is exactly what we want for the rest of it. So when I come over here, we're going to start back with the trees across the trail from here, and then we're going to go all the way back to the woods back there to what we call Combine Trail, and that'll give us a nice base to get from the house and the bridge all the way back to the woods. And then from the woods we just kind of, I guess, wait for it to dry. Certain areas in the woods stay dry most of the season, other areas don't. But for the most part, access to the front of the woods is kind of a big deal. So let's go take a look at that wood chip pile. I don't know how well you can tell right here, but this mulch pile is probably, I don't know, there's got to be 100 yards of mulch right here by volume. I've been having the tree trimmer guys drop it off for me since it's right by the road. So anyway, and for this last segment, my microphone cut out again. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. we'll keep you posted for the rest of the project and putting the rest of the trees down, and ultimately taking this mulch pile and putting it out onto the trail. We're going to make use of my brother's dump truck and the tractor and a bunch of our implements, so it should be a fun project. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.